Hey guys, Joseph here from Spotlight Electric. I want to show you Liteline's newest series of products, the Oncloud. They've teamed up with Wiz to bring smart home products directly to you. Let's take a look. So here's the packaging. Obviously very professional. They spent a lot of time and money on the design of this. Shows you the features, the dimming level here, on, off, as well as down here. These are your scenes. You can scroll through 4 different scenes. So very nice. Let's open it up. And here is our room controller. So step 1 is to remove our cover. I have a 3-gang switch, so I need to remove a 3-gang cover. Now before we even get to this step, we need to ensure that we turn the breaker off so that the power in this box is dead. So we've done that. I will double check later on. So let's remove our cover. Our next step is to remove the switch that we're going to replace with our room controller. I'm using a screwdriver for this. Normally I would use a drill. I have been an electrician for 17 years. I always recommend using a screwdriver if you haven't done this before or you're new to this, because there's less chance of you stripping the screw or over tightening it. I always say learn how to do things right and then learn how to do it fast. You can see that I had to pull out the last switch as well. The reason for that was because my connections to the actual power in the box were behind here, and in order for me to do this safely, this one needed to come out. So I have my non-contact voltage tester here. This is my Klein. I do recommend this one. I do not bet my life on these pen testers because there are reasons that they fail, but we definitely do not have power here. I also made sure that our breaker was off, so for sure we're good to go. The next thing that we're going to do is remove our switch from the circuit. Loose connection. This one needs to go. So here's our room controller. One of the things that I noticed on here is that the leads or the ends of the wire are actually dipped in solder. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut off the tips of the wire just because I don't like the connections that they always make. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually take my strippers and I'm going to strip my own lead there, my own end of the cable. So it's stranded wire. I always find they get a better connection when I have stranded wire on my connections. Okay, so now that we have that done and I feel confident in what we're about to do, I'm going to go ahead and hook up the ground, our bond wire first. And we can go ahead and do our neutral. What I like to do is when I'm connecting stranded wire to solid, I will actually leave the stranded a little bit longer than the solid wire, so that as you turn the moret or the wire nut or the wire connector, whatever you want to call it, the stranding of the wire actually wraps around the copper. So that's a good little tip there. And we got 2 more wires, and as you can see here, they are labeled our line and our load. So our line is our power, that's our hot wire, and last but not least is our load. So that's what we are going to light up, our lights. Our switch leg, our load. There's lots of different names for it, but that's what that is. So again, I'm leaving the stranded wire just a little bit longer than the copper, so as I put my moret or wire nut on it, it actually twists the stranded wire around the solid and makes a very good connection. Again, another reason for turning off power is because sometimes you really have to fight with the wires to get them to the back of the box so they don't interfere with the switches. And if your wires are live, you know, you're a little more hesitant to do that. So here's another little freebie for you. What I do is I take my switch cover, and rather than putting it on like this, I will put it like this on my switches. Make sure they all line up first. What this gives you is a little bit of play on the lip, so you can actually move them around. So I can see this one. Zoom over just a hair. And there you go, our room controller is installed, our cover's back on. I'm gonna go hit the breaker, head back up, and we'll turn this on. So our next step, now that our power is back on in the switch to our room controller, is I'm going to install the Oncloud bulbs from Liteline in my pendant lights beside my bed. Okay, so that's on, now I just gotta pair it. The instructions are pretty self-explanatory. We are going to hold our on and off button for 5 seconds until that indicator light goes red. Perfect, now it's in pairing mode. Okay, and here are the final results.